Lewis.
Yeah. What up, people? Me, Ray, Terry, and Brian have been live in the chat room by ourselves.
We weren't playing in traffic.
We weren't playing in traffic. We were playing in the green room. So listen, sorry.
There goes Chelsea down right there.
John, yeah, we were waiting for you in the other room, John. Come on, man.
Listen, I hit live before. We were live when me and Ray was on first.
Yeah. John said there was a small clip up there, and then that was it.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So, me and Terry was explaining that we were on a show Friday.
Hey, yeah. Recount that first, please.
Go ahead, Terry. You kick it.
It was Mike Leonard and Jeff This. They hosted a podcast show. Well, they do it every week called Cars National. What is it, Lewis?
No, that's his company name, Cars National. The name of their podcast is Let's Ride.
Let's roll.
Let's ride.
Let's roll.
And it was a stroke of genius because he went and got 30 people in the industry, some from TV, some fabricating, some from blogging like myself and Lewis, some from the radio field like Ray here, and it was fabulous. It was great, and each person had about 5 to 6 minutes, and we were just chatting it up.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
So, I guess the purpose was a meet and greet for everybody just to get to know each other and
I think it was just to, it was. I think it was more than a meet and greet. I think it was so the people that are watching can get an interaction with the people that are like on TV that otherwise you may not have been able to talk to them.
Right.
It was really cool. I think that was the main focus, but then the meet and greet came along with that. Because everyone was in the chat room, everyone was just kicking in while we were waiting.
Yeah, there was a lot of people there. Bogey was there.
Yep.
Shag.
Yep.
Who else? There's a couple of people I don't know that have shows, I guess, TV shows.
What's it called? Who was supposed? Ed Golden was supposed to show up. He didn't show up.
Mike Cotton was there.
Mike Cotton and Dave Newburn was supposed to show up, but he didn't show up. There was a lot of people, and it was really cool. It was really cool, and to see them with the hair down,
Yeah, Hot Rod Von.
Von Hot Rod.
Yeah.
That guy's a character.
Yeah, he is.
Where is he from?
He was on our show. He was on here. He's a pinstriper.
Yeah, right. Got it.
Dude got a drag in his living room. You remember that, Lewis?
Yeah, drags. Yeah, he did the podcast here too, and they showed us. He had a drag car hanging on the wall.
We should all have that.
He had a motor sitting in the windowsill. He's all about it.
Wow, he's living the life, man. That's what it's about. But it was nice. It was really nice, and I think it's going to probably happen again.
Yeah,
I think it's going to happen again.
They should probably make that a semi-regular thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Maybe next time we'll connect this to that and have a big monster.
Wow.
Yeah. Sam Madavi. I forgot. Yeah, I can't forget Sam Madavi.
Right.
Yeah, I got to get him back on too. Sam, man, that's a smart dude.
Yo,
he knows the stuff.
And he's just a nice guy, man. Knowledgeable.
Yep.
Did you see how he took out that Pilot Baron with a piece of bread?
No.
Bread, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was up there. He was just eating the bread, right? And then he just jammed it in the Pilot Baron and then got like some type of chisel or either whatever. I forgot what tool it was, but he just kept on pounding. Took some more bread, pounded. Put some more bread, pounded. And it came right out.
Yeah, guys do that with grease. I've seen it done with grease, but I tried it and it didn't work for me.
I guess maybe it has to be a tight seal, whatever you're going in there with that Pilot Baron to bang out.
I had to get a puller.
Yeah. But he did that, and I was like, I told him, if you really wanted to be beast mode, you should have ate that bread.
Right.
Yeah.
Brian, you got no audio, Brian. No, you're muted. We can see you, but we can't hear you. No,
Those-
it's not. I know that. I can read his face. It's like now. No, not now. No. You can say whatever you want now.
Yeah. Nothing.
What a way to start April, huh?
Oh man, ain't that the truth? But yeah, between working on this house and work and everything, man, and being locked up from this virus, I gotta on vacation. I gotta get on this stuff, man. Get it straight.
You know, I tell you, man, I've been caulking tubs and doing grout. I changed a timer in the bathroom, and I changed another one in the bathroom, rewiring stuff. I'm like, just give me something to do. You know, it's like, but I did drop my car off today at the body shop. I did something I was very apprehensive about because now it's going to get the finished body work and paint. And like, I'm not really about a painted car, but I guess I'm committed now.
Which one is this? Is your Chevelle?
The Pontiac GTO.
Oh, the GTO. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's going to match the drum set.
Ah, that's what you
Nice.
cool about that.
I've got a little China symbol mounted on the antenna. Yeah.
That would be cool. It's got to say Wachung or something like that.
Yeah, right. Funny
That
stuff.
would be cool.
Yeah.
So I was talking to Terry earlier about Consuela.
Uh-huh.
I think I might have a sponsor out of Canada that makes the rotisseries.
Okay.
So if I can get that, then I'm gonna go frame off and maybe do some paint work on the bottom.
Right.
Did I ever come back?
Now
Yep,
you're back.
You're good.
Now you're back. Welcome back. Good word, man. Your face says it all, bro.
Man, this is a workout, Lewis.
It
I
is.
know, right? I'm making
Holy
it.
smokes.
That's what happens when you're in quarantine. You know,
It's like 10 o'clock already, too. I mean, we burned an hour already.
yeah.
We got
Crazy.
to start a whole hour ahead of time. Spring back or fall forward, or what are we doing now?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just telling them this week I'm gonna really get on this digital stuff. I've been slacking, man. Life is hard when you got to work every day.
Yeah. What do you think about? I know we talked about it briefly, but what are your thoughts on the Zoom platform, like on a pro level?
Zoom. I forget why we didn't go to Zoom. I think it was because we couldn't go live on YouTube. But let me check. See, I gotta go back and check again because they changed stuff. So
Yeah.
I need to check them all. Really.
I mean, the other day I had like 4 meetings in one day on Zoom.
Yeah.
Brian was in a call on Sunday after the radio show. We did the radio show through a Zoom connection. So me and my co-host Chris were on. Brian came in. I had my buddy Gerard from Rolling Thunder Cycles. He came in, and then the station manager was in at his house. He had the computer and the software that took the Zoom feed and then uploaded it to the radio station and sent it out on a terrestrial FM airwave. So we had like
Nice.
3 levels of communication. And I tell you something, I was able to record the show. I was able to record the stream, and it sounded great. It sounded probably better than I liked it a little better than the live Airstream.
Nice.
You can do a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah. My wife's using it for school too.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll check into it.
And I felt like you because on there I can do the virtual background. So I got like my,
Oh, did you?
set up there. I got the car. I got all my different. Brian thought I was sitting by the door and said, "Come on, play us out." I'm like, dude, it's just the virtual background. That's upstairs.
I thought he was on Bust a Loose, man. It was all sitting there. I was like, man, this guy's like ready to rock and roll. And
Yeah. It's
there.
a real picture, so you can't tell.
Yeah.
yeah, it looked real. And it was even you. I mean, you sat. I mean, it was like
It was pretty close.
it was real close because. Well, I'm not an expert. I mean, but
It did look pretty close. Like I just turned around on the throne, maybe.
yeah,
Yeah.
You were. I thought it was. I was like, man, Ray's gonna lay a couple notes here in a minute.
Right.
A little upsetting.
So I'm liking that platform. It's nice. It's easy to use.
What are you feeding that cat? That's a huge animal.
Man, he only eats this special stuff, man. It's only like 2 places in this area that sells it, and he's a spoiled cat, dude. He's come here. I call him Tuco because he's bad.
Tuco, yeah, good name.
Look how long he is.
Big. Come on, I've seen bigger cats than that.
He's about the line, man.
That cat's got to spend a weekend with me. I'll fatten that thing up.
Yeah.
Listen, he can stand and put his feet on the countertop.
Wow.
Wow.
I had an orange and white cat who, when he would lay down and stretch his legs out with his tail, he was over 3 feet long.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
He was long, yeah. Those orange cats, yeah, and he was kind of heavy too. I got a picture of him. He was laying on my lap. He was all fat, but it wasn't that good. I had to get him to lose some weight.
Look at John. He says his orange tabby weighs 22 pounds.
22 pounds. Damn.
Wow.
Oh, let me tell you something, man. Guys down at the shop today, all young guys. One guy, he's a city cop. I think he's only like 24, 25. He got off of work at, I think, 4 a.m., and by 6, he was back in town. He goes home, had spaghetti and meatballs for like dinner at 6 a.m. Meets up with his buddy. They come down to the shop. They were eating something. Then it was like 12. They go down to this place over here by me. They came back with these, they called them burritos. He handed me the bag, and I held it. And I said, this has to be like 16 pounds.
Food.
I swear to God, they took it out of the bag. These things look like little babies wrapped up. It was the biggest freaking. I don't know how they got a tortilla that big. And these kids just chowed them down, man. Just.
Hey, you guys?
Yeah.
Oh no, go ahead.
I went out and came back, and then he's sitting in the truck. He's eating Ralph's Ice. The other guy's eating potato chips. Like they just don't stop, you know.
Yeah, catch up to you later.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. While you can.
Hey, did you guys see the video of these teachers? They were all on the Zoom. It was probably 8 or 9 people on, and this one guy is butt naked.
No.
He didn't realize his camera was on, and he stands up. His wing wong is flying everywhere.
You know, we got an email today yesterday through the college about warning about being Zoom bombed, and what was happening is they letting teachers know that, you know, just because you're students, you can have 30 kids in a class, 24 kids in a class, and those kids can share a screen. And they said kids have been doing this; they've been sharing a screen with pornography or whatever. You know, and they're like, so now they would tell people that there's actually controls where you can limit that. You can get in there and you have to allow the share screen or whatever. And so, yeah, I mean, where there's a will, there's a way. People are going to screw with it, you know?
Yeah, they find it.
No.
That guy's going to be popular when they go back to work.
Oh, man, listen, he's standing there with his thing out, and he's, you know, he turns around, his butt showing.
It was impressive.
Wait a minute.
Because if it wasn't, boy.
I don't want to.
Can you see it?
It's kind of blurry.
See the guy in the corner with the arrow pointing?
I can make it out, but yeah, you really can't see it clearly.
Yeah.
So wait a second. So this guy's teaching a class, and he just stands up?
Yeah.
Text that out to us. Send it out on a email or a text or something. Yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah, he's they're all teachers, and they're talking.
Right.
And they're screaming. They're like, Bill, or whatever his name is, Bob, your camera's on, and they're all like, "Oh
Mr. Johnson."
And he doesn't even know it. That's the problem.
I got the one. There was a couple of guys, musicians, did a split screen, and they were doing like to the Bee Gees song "Staying Alive," but it was "Staying Inside."
Yeah, I got that too.
Staying inside. That was pretty. That was done very well.
That's cool.
That's it. When you get musicians, they can really lay down some good stuff. Very inventive.
That'd be something if the teacher's like, you're like, "Hey, Bob, your camera's on." He'd be like, "I know."
Dude, he's standing there like, you know, he's turning around, getting stuff, and
he's probably, yeah, I'm fucking with that, man. Nobody knows shit. No.
Like,
you know what?
Ego vice principal, check this out.
Like, this ain't no mistake.
Terry, I'm gonna send it to you on Facebook. But I don't. Ray, you're not on Facebook, are you?
Yeah, we are.
Here, wait a minute. What's
Automouth Radio.
Oh, okay.
And Twitter and Instagram.
Twitter, Instagram.
Terry, is that a plotter or an organ behind you there?
Oh, this right here?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a Rhodes keyboard. That's a vintage keyboard.
Keyboard, yeah, nice.
It's electric. They call it an electric piano.
Right, I remember. Yeah, it had that certain sound to it.
Yeah, and I wanted one so bad. I finally got one. I had to go over to Brooklyn to get that thing.
Nice.
Guy was like, "Yo, Terry, you got to get this out of my house," because he's a professional musician, and he likes the music now. He's just like, I can't lug this thing around and have a keyboard that has that sound.
Yeah, now they're smaller.
I heard it. I was like, to myself, I'm like, I need like a Rhodes. But then to him, I was like, oh, that sounds just like a Rhodes. Help me put the keyboard on.
That's the problem. Like, I don't play keyboard, but if I did, I'd want a Hammond B3 with a Leslie.
That's what I'm getting next.
Oh,
That's what I want next. That's the next one. I want that with the Leslie. Yeah.
oh, that's so 70s. Oh.
Leslie speaker. I want a Moog. I want an ARP Odyssey. I want all the keyboard.
I mean,
I had a friend of mine. He's got a 64 Cadillac that he slammed and dropped on the ground and so forth. But he just posted here that what's that air conditioning place in California?
Vintage Air.
Not Vintage Air.
Be Cool? No.
What was that?
Be Cool?
Yeah, I think is what it was. But he had sent his unit in for repair because it was under warranty, and they filed Chapter 7 because of the virus, and they closed up.
Oh, and they got his stuff.
And they got his stuff, and they're under it'd be under bankruptcy court.
Oh,
I was
wow.
at the body shop today, and my buddy was telling his office manager, he's like, hey, so-and-so Toyota that we order from all the time, like, now they want, like, COD. And, like, these guys are on, extended. They float a lot of money every month because they got cars going in and out every day. It's like,
it was ACCU Air.
AccuAir, yes.
AccuAir, yeah.
Oh, that's the air ride system.
Yeah.
Oh, Air Ride, yeah. Okay.
Oh, wow.
He said that he had just put it on his caddy. I guess he had to send something in to pump or something. Well, he didn't say, but he's trying to find out because there's no answer.
Right.
And,
that's Mario.
I just found a note, or I found a press release saying
bad.
that they filed Chapter 7 because of the virus, and
yeah, but the thing is, that I can't see how this would affect them because most people, I guess, not working. I understand that, but most people are staying open. These companies, and I don't know, man. That's
yeah. That sounds kind of weird because that's what they say here in this letter. They say file Chapter 7. They don't really go in. But they basically tell you, if you have anything here, good luck.
Yeah. Well, I know, like I said, this guy was put a couple hundred cars a week through the shop. And right now, I was there today. It's dead. He's working on his own cars and tell me, bring your car in. I'm gonna put the guy on just to work on your car. I'm like, all right.
Listen, AccuAir is the big dog on the block on Air Ride.
Wow.
Really? He just.
They invented a air tank that has the pumps inside.
Oh, nice.
And it's real quiet.
Right.
I mean, they're really set up. I've been talking to them for a while, trying to get them on the show and do some stuff together.
Yeah. After 18 years, unfortunately, we had to file for Chapter.
You know what? They were in trouble before this.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm sure. I mean,
they had to be because everything is shut down. It's not like half the businesses shut down, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pretty much everything is shut down, and everybody knows, like your bill collectors, they're shut down too.
Yeah, because that's what they say here because of the economic impact of the pandemic. We were forced to shelter, and in the state of California.
Wow.
We had to let everybody off, and that was
I don't believe that.
And I guess the custom shops and all, they're not considered essential.
Mm-mm.
So
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
but if you're not essential, then your your bill collectors need to hold off, right?
Right. I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they probably
So-
were. You're probably right. This is just a easy excuse or
Yeah.
make it sound.
Man,
but
that stinks. They got all the
but,
stuff there.
Yeah.
he's got. I haven't. I was going to try to reach out to him. He, like I said, he used to be a customer of mine, and he got a job with the Metro, and but he had this Cadillac that he slammed on the ground and put air. Really, really a nice job, but
They have nice systems.
yeah, unfortunately, he's probably like you said, he's going a little crazy right now because he just wants his shit back so he could try to fix it or do something, you know.
Yeah.
That stinks.
It ain't like you can drive next door, right?
Yeah.
No.
Right.
I mean,
No. You know, see, this is the problem with the internet and being able to have products from all over the country. Now, one of the guys here in Youngstown that builds the custom bikes with the big wheel,
yeah,
he built a bike with a 32-inch front wheel,
Ooh,
right? All billet, one piece.
Wow.
So
Wow.
he bought the piece of billet and sent it to California to have it cut, right? So months goes by, nothing. So he calls the guy. He goes, "Hey, you know, where's my wheel? Send it back if you're not going to cut it, whatever." So come to find out, this kid that was going to cut it worked for another guy. He worked for a guy that owned all the equipment. So he's going to cut it on his off time. You know what I mean? So my buddy flies out there. Now, he's one of those type of guys that will break your arm if you look at him wrong, right? So he flies out there and he goes to the company and he walks in. He goes, "Where's so-and-so?" And they point him out. They're like, "There he is right there." So he goes over and he chokes him out. He grabs him. He grabs him, right? Chokes him. The police come and everything, right? So he says, "Hey, he had my, $5,000 billet piece of metal." So the guy that owned the shop said, "Listen, this, we'll take care of it. We'll make him pay us. We'll cut it and we'll send it to you." So they ended up doing it, cutting it for him. But he had to fly out there, man. He's going to rip the dude's arms off.
Yeah. Get a notice.
He said, "Don't make me." He said, "Hey, Spirit's only $150 round trip." He goes, "I'll fly out there and get my wheel."
No one's above a beatdown, man. Yeah.
He went out
yeah.
there.
Well, I probably would have waited, let him cut it, and then buy an extra plane ticket and fly the wheel back.
Yeah.
You and the
Yeah.
wheel back. I wouldn't. I don't think I'd leave it. I don't think I'd.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have left. I'd have been like, "We're cutting it now."
Yeah. Let me help you go over to and chalk it up and get ready to
I'll
cut
choke
this
everyone
thing.
out here.
So that's what the problem is around here, or, around the states is, you send your stuff to another state and you're just trusting that they're going to do it.
Yeah.
Well, it's always the case. You always hope that there's always good faith involved, but
Yeah.
it's in better times. So I got a Mustang question.
Okay.
Guess who I'm looking at? Yeah, you, Smiley. All right. The Mach 1 that Mike's got at the shop. Got
69.
69. Yeah, I don't think it's a 7. So it's got a 351 engine in it with headers. I asked you about this a while ago. First of all, how do you tell a Cleveland from a Windsor? What are the differences? I don't remember. It's in the heads, right?
Well, it's in the
Terry knows.
yeah, it's in the block depth. I mean, it's the depth. I mean, it's a different wedge.
Can you tell by looking at the engine?
If you know the difference, I have to look at it. I just can't. I mean,
Okay.
you have to. But it's the wedge and the heads.
All right, so I could get more specific. The reason I'm asking is the car currently has headers on it, and they're a nightmare.
right.
And they're old and rusted. And he hit me with, "I'd like you to change the headers." I was like, "Oh Christ! Why don't you just ask me to rip my fingers off?" Because I couldn't get the starter out of that car with it. I mean, it is that tight.
Right.
So, and then we talked about it, and I think you had mentioned lifting the engine. And the guy who was doing all the metal work on the car said to him, "Mike, why don't we just pull the engine tranny out of this car and you could detail everything?" He doesn't want to do that. Well, I told him, I want to do that. I think that's what you should do because you got this beautiful car with all this metal work and got new paint and then you're going to have the engine bay not done.
It's all nasty.
Right.
So anyway, I think I could probably get him to go for it. But I said to him, in the meantime, what about putting on a set of exhaust manifolds instead of headers? Because for ease of everything. So the questions I have are there different manifolds for Windsors and Clevelands? That's why I needed to know if there's
Yes.
the engines. Okay.
I was going to say, yeah, I think they're totally different heads to the point where, you can't. I don't even think they could be interchanged.
I don't think so either.
Okay. I was reading something on a forum. They were talking about putting 351 exhaust manifolds on a 302. So I guess maybe the thing to do is get the header off and make a tracing of the exhaust ports. Or gasket.
Here's
I just want to go the easiest way. Yeah, look at that monster. Jeez.
that's all. That's one wheel.
Wow.
I mean, one piece.
They cut more out of it than they saved.
Yeah.
Do what? Oh,
They cut more out of the wheel than they saved. Look at that exhaust. Oh my God, it's like the Jesse James crack pipes.
Well, it's the turbo.
Yeah,
That's nice.
nice.
yeah. I think the whole.
I'm not done with the Mustang question, so I'm going to keep you guys going on this.
I'm thinking just take the engine out and put an LS in and be done with it. That's what I would do.
Actually, I think somebody else said that because he said to me today, he says, someone said something that, check it. It's probably, maybe it's an LS. I'm like, what? He goes, that's a Chevy engine, right? I'm like, yeah, that's a Chevy engine. I said, maybe somebody was saying you should put an LS in. I said, and I think I know who that guy would be, but so.
I would have that car at 8 o'clock. By 9 o'clock, the engine be out.
Well, see, Ray, when they were talking about a 351 manifold, they were talking about a Windsor manifold.
Okay.
A 351 Windsor is still a Windsor block. That's 302, 289. That's all in that family. A Cleveland is a different. That's kind of like in between of it has like a big block and a small block parts, or small block parts with big block parts.
So I guess the Cleveland is the one that made more power.
Right. The Cleveland is the
That's the one.
well, that's what when you
That's
say
the most
I have a 351, they always say Cleveland, right?
Oh, okay, because that's the one everybody wants. Sean saying,
Yeah.
Cleveland modified engine. The radiator hose and thermostat housing sticks vertically right out of the top of the engine. Vertically right out of the top.
Yeah.
Radiator hose and thermostat sold.
Yeah, that's what I was looking to spot the difference. I was looking through my Ford.
John Day to the rescue.
I
Yeah,
got.
Hey.
I gotta clip that. I gotta grab that off the screen. So the other question I have is the previous owner had installed a 5-speed, and I believe it's a T5 out of a later Ford, a Fox body Ford, because the shifter looks just like a Fox body Mustang shifter.
because that's kind of what they did with the Boss 302. It was kind of a Boss 302. When you look at a Boss 302 motor versus a 302, it's the heads and the valve covers are cut different. They're
Right.
not like a square box that goes over. They're kind of at an angle.
Right.
And that's where you that's why they want that parts or that part of the motor. That's why if you put a 351 a 351 Windsor manifold on, you have a better airflow. That's the reason why they're telling you to do with the bigger exhaust manifold if it's a Windsor block. I'm sorry.
Right. All right. So I guess what I got to see is I got to get it apart and look. So that's the safe way to go. And then I got to find manifolds.
Wait a minute before you start that question.
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump off and let Chassis John in.
All right, great.
It's my bedtime.
Thank you, Lewis. We'll see you for a longer period of time next week, I hope.
I hope.
All right.
I'll
Thanks,
see you in the
fellas.
green
Go to
room.
vacation.
In the green room. We're in the
See you in the green room.
Yeah, right.
All right, guys. See you later.
Take care, brother.
All right. So now the other issue is, like I said, this car's got a T5 in it, and they put a scatter shield on this thing.
Ooh, okay.
Now the problem is, I don't know if the guy was trying to be serious, or whatever, but I tried to do a clutch adjustment over the summer with that car, and I was all the way at the end of the rod. I needed more, and I couldn't get it. And it's probably the geometry in this scatter shield. So I said to him, listen, while we're at it, if we can, how about we switch back to an aluminum bell housing, and then everything will line up right. Hey, John.
John, what's up?
I said,
Got
Got audio?
Yes, you do.
You good.
Okay.
I said the only thing that would prevent that is if the T5 does not bolt up to a bell housing that bolts up to the older engine. And I need to know if that's an issue too, or if he used the bell housing. Did he use the scatter shield because he had to, or because he just wanted to? And then I need an aluminum bell housing for a.
What's wrong with a scatter shield? It's a good thing to have.
Well, yeah, I know, but you know what? This guy is not racing this car at all. And
Well,
That's
to
a regular
do-
aluminum bell housing then. Done.
So if you're doing like there's a aluminum adapter plate to adapt to the factory bell housing.
so
If you find an aluminum bell housing, you had to have the adapter plate.
all right. So you say the T5 does not bolt directly to the
No.
early.
No,
Okay.
I guarantee that 5-speed that he has in there is probably like one of those TKOs.
No, it's not.
No, it's not?
It's out of a Fox body because he took the stock shifter too, and I know that shifter. It's out of a
Okay.
Mustang. You know, it's that T5 style.
Is that company Transdap still around?
Oh, right. They made all the
Yeah.
They made everything.
right.
Right, everywhere.
Even oil pans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have like adapter kits, or on a Fords. It depends. Of course, this is later on. I mostly know earlier stuff because they had 5 or 6 bolt patterns for a bell housing.
Okay.
And that was a difference that you had to know, because that was an earlier motor had only 5, and then later was 6.
right.
That's why a lot of people put the scatter shields on it, because they have multiple holes,
That's
and they usually have holes drilled out for, like I said, multiple transmission patterns.
That's
Right.
okay. The guy might have done that just because it was easy, and I know the guy. My buddy owns the car. He's, like I said, I talked him out of headers in one sentence. It was easy.
Yeah.
So, if I can talk him back into an aluminum bell housing and make my life easy.
No, that's what you should tell him, because like
Does anybody make those like those street rod shorty headers?
Ooh,
I don't know. I was just looking at this car today, and I'll tell you, with the shock towers, man, it is tight. Mustangs are always
They make tri-wide. They make a tri-wide downpipe. And
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
the-
was thinking.
That was the Ford's shorty header or whatever, was a tri-wide.
Yeah, because they kind
And,
of sweep back and then go down,
Yeah. And
so they get out there by the
basically here,
firewall.
They have this is year one. They have a T5 adapter plates for 65 to 70 V8 6 bolt pattern for $166.
there you
All
go.
right.
Nice.
They have a bell housing too, an aluminum bell housing.
I'm sure they do. I was just looking under their. This was 5.0 early conversion kit components. This
5.0.
has This has the cross members and trans brackets and adapter plates. There's like four different ones they have listed.
Well, that's what I was going to ask too. Is what place you? I did. He uses CJ Pony Parts a lot.
Yeah, I stick with the well. CJ's really good. CJ's a really good place, but year one seems to be taking over everything.
Yeah,
You
they
know,
got
I mean, they were around like 30 years ago. They were always a little more,
Yeah,
more expensive.
I think CJ. If I might be wrong, because I just saw this on one of my other Facebook pages. But CJ, somebody said that they ordered a whole bunch of stuff from CJ and it took forever, or maybe it was another one. I don't want to lead any off. I have to find the threat and read it again. But suppose that's why year one supposedly I haven't had any issues when I had to look up or get anything.
Right.
Year one.
Yeah, but they have, like I said, there's so your basic thing is when you look on the back of the block, I'm pretty sure it's going to be 6 bolt, because the earlier stuff, like I said, that was the difference between 5 and 6 was the bell housing. They have and like you said, a T5 adapter plate. Actually, the part number here is FJ1748.
FJ1748.
And
Alright,
they have a the TKO one is a different adapter.
Yeah.
There you go. That's what I was thinking about.
All right. So you say the early bell housings was 6 bolt, you said, right?
Or 5.
5.
The early ones were 5 and the late ones were 6.
Now,
Most
early
likely of a 6.
Early being 64 to what? 67?
64 to 66.
6.
By
So,
67, most of that stuff was all 302 or the newer stuff.
so 67 to 70 is 6 bolt.
It should be. Yeah.
God,
I love-
Ford,
I love-
Ford has a real problem standardizing anything.
I know.
Like Chevy, GM, they put everything, the brakes, everything on the whole thing.
I love it when I hear the word should be at the end.
The bolt pattern on the back of a Chevy engine has
Yeah.
been the same since the dawn of time,
Right.
whether it was a 6-cylinder or a 598. They're all the
Yeah.
same.
And I'll go you one better. I have an aluminum Monza bell housing from a Chevy Monza, and it's
Yeah.
built up to my Pontiac engine.
Yeah.
And I can put the 4-speed on it. I can put the 5-speed on it. All good. So yeah, they even interchange back and forth. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Well, gentlemen, I'd love to hang out with you. I got to go upstairs and find out why my 5-year-old is still up.
All right,
Show you something, Terry.
Huh? You going to show me something?
Yeah, hold on. Look.
I've got some goodies.
Oh, look at you. You're chopping.
Not an LS.
That's a
Oh,
nice
so
LS.
nice. Ooh.
That's that 632.
Wow,
Dude.
motor, beautiful. That came out nice, John.
Check out the size of these
That's
ports.
not going in your car, right? That's not going to the 67 Camaro, right?
This is the 67.
Okay. I was going to make sure. Okay. That's really nice.
Yeah, check out that port. Hold on. Let me
Too high.
see if I can get it here.
There you go.
There's some
400 thousandths raised, 2 3/8 port.
Wow.
Big stuff.
What numbers is that engine pushing, they think?
820
Naturally aspirated.
naturally aspirated with the Holly fuel injection.
Wow. Wow. So he's going to get reliability and he's going to get some serious power
And a 30,000-mile warranty.
and a 30,000-mile warranty,
5
Ridiculous.
years of 30 thou.
whichever comes first.
With the first
Right.
left turn. Whatever comes first.
And that's 5 years of 30,000 of beating the snot out of it.
5 years, 30,000 parts and labor.
Wow.
He better work fast because, like you were saying to me the other day, by the time he gets it out of you, he still has. a
Well,
lot
the warranty
that to
don't
be
start
done.
until I call them to turn the warranty on that the motor has been started.
Okay. Well, that'll be before it leaves your place, right?
Oh yeah. I'll be doing donuts with it.
You do all the other stuff you do with the wiring and all the other goodies.
Yeah. No, I got to get it running.
Yeah.
So,
How long do you think it'll be before that car's together?
well, this coronavirus keeps up probably about 4 weeks. I made a post in Facebook, said, "Hey man, I got to stay home. Guess what? I'm working on the car."
There you go.
So I've shifted my schedule
Uh-huh.
to give the guy that works specifically with me here in Tampa more hours because we got some customers they're sort of bailing for a little while, and then they'll come back when they feel comfortable. And then a lot of the
maintenance.
a lot of the businesses that we do, they're like on skeleton crew.
Yep.
So they're like, "Can you come every other week instead of every week?"
Yeah, I
So
guess
I'm like, "Yeah, not a problem." So I cut their bill in half. And then I have, people that have stuff at their house. And it's like, well, you could go a month without me coming. The tank will be pretty dirty and crappy when I finally get there, but nothing's going to die.
Yeah.
It's just going to be, I tell them, shut the lights.
Yeah.
Shut the lights off, turn them on for like an hour a day, feed the fish, and then don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Use the magnet cleaner to clean the glass. And then we'll come back and we'll do big water changes and get everything back in line.
Add a couple more
So-
plecos.
Yeah, well, we have some freshwater tanks that have plecos they don't do what you think they're gonna do.
I don't know. Mine always kept the bottom clean.
Yeah. I mean, they're good, but on a tank that gets regular service, it's a clean tank. They have nothing to eat. Yeah,
Right. Starve them.
so you got to substitute like these wafers,
Right.
algae wafers. and stuff. But yeah, we slowed down. Things have kind of slowed down, but we're not shut down.
Right.
So I shifted the bulk of my accounts off to my guy Brad. So
Brian
he's
shifted
out working,
Brian shifted
and
from
I'm
his
playing.
butter to chocolate.
And on that note, fellas, I gotta get this kid to school.
All right, Terry.
See you,
Take
Terry.
care, gentlemen.
Take it easy, Terry.
Yep. Take care, Brian. Take care.
All right, man. Oh yeah.
Unreal. Man, I had some trouble getting back on. That was ridiculous.
Oh,
It ends
man.
up. I said to Lewis when I came in, I said, I got a bar across the top of my screen. It says I'm in the green room. He goes, no, we're live. We were live for a little while. Then later on, I was telling him, I was going back and forth with you, and I told him your problem. He says, no, you know what? We're in the green room. On the bottom, it says we're in the green room. I said, I told you that like a half hour ago. I said,
Right.
no, we were in the green room for about 20 minutes just talking.
When I logged in, there was a link to tonight's show.
Right.
And it's the one that says, the one I sent you a picture of, starts at 9:00.
Right.
So every time I would click that link, I would go back to a frozen screen and the chat room from back then.
Right. There was all sorts of
And
trouble.
then he gave me that link. I found that link, and then I got in. And then I had a problem where it was like the audio was like clicking in and out. But it turned out that I had two windows open.
Oh, yeah.
So I shut one window, and then it had no audio. I couldn't hear you guys at all. So I had to log out and log back in. So when I went to come back in, it said live now, which it didn't say before.
Right.
So then when I clicked the live now, you came right back on. So
Right. Yeah.
weird.
Good night.
Seems like we have a little echo.
Yeah.
I hear like somebody's television or something.
It's got to be Brian.
You got a radio on or a TV?
I know
on?
it ain't mine. Yeah, it is.
There you go.
All right, I'll shut off Judge Judy.
Judge
What were
Judy,
you watching?
really, dude?
Was it that good?
What?
What were you watching? Was it that good?
I don't know. It was just on.
Oh, okay.
It's in my office. It stays on all the time. It's
Right.
just-
Oh, okay.
But
I've been
it's
trying to
still-
get through Street Outlaws Memphis.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
He did a whole bunch of things, races where they brought all these guys in from across the country.
Sort of, yeah.
So I
Yeah.
got through that. And then there was another episode, which was kind of like a rerun, but they ran, what was it, like Mississippi or something like that?
Yeah.
Some dude who spent a lot of time with them already and kind of knows what's going on. And he dragged all his people down. They kicked his ass.
Yeah. I wish
Took
they-
all his money. So I'm trying to
Yeah.
get through that last 3-hour episode before I can get to the one from this week.
Yeah. I wish
JJ's a cool guy. I talked to him quite a bit.
Yeah, he
he's
seems
a
all right.
nice kid.
I wish they'd bring back Pastime. I used to like that show.
Yeah, that was a good
That
show.
was an awesome
And,
show.
and I mean, I guess I
Yeah.
liked it. I guess I really liked it because my guesses were usually like right there. I was usually really
Yeah.
close. So I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, I love this show, man.
I had quite a lot of friends that ran on that show.
Really. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then you get
It's
like,
funny.
you get like I with a new Mustang, and I with a bike would roll. I mean, it was everything.
Yeah.
You name it, trucks, the whole 9 yards.
That chassis builder, I forget his name, the guy from Texas.
The guy that was on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's awesome.
Right.
He's
right, right.
good. He could just tell by the burnout what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was really, really on
And
the money
that's
most
what-
of the time.
It was like 2 questions I got to ask
I
or
think.
something.
Yeah.
Like, what tire size
Mhm.
you running, and that was the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Well, it was any two questions. It was any two questions.
Yeah.
Right,
you
any two
wanted.
questions,
Right.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
another
two
one that was
questions.
real-
Any
There was another one that was real popular too. Another question that was very popular. I can't remember what it was.
like if you were spraying or
Yeah.
Oh, power
you know,
edge.
what tire.
How big was
yeah.
the motor?
How
That
big?
kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy from Texas, he's a chassis guy, and he was good. Really
it was
good.
funny. It was funny when I went back and watched the old episode of Big Chief and Sean that was on.
Oh, yeah?
On that, and seeing they looked like they were 12 years old, man.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
the funniest damn thing. And when they had the Murder Nova and all that stuff, but it was so funny watching because they looked like they were like 50 pounds lighter and
Right.
12 years old or whatever.
Yeah.
And
And it was kind of funny watching it.
both of those guys they're big. They're tall.
Yeah, they're big guys.
They are tall dudes. I mean, I met them in Vegas at SEMA, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, they growing big.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, these guys are big dudes. I'm like, holy cow.
Yeah.
But I think isn't what's his name? Chief? He's like from upstate New York or something, right?
Is he? No, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
he's not
I
from
don't know.
Iowa. He's not from Iowa.
Or Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Yeah, he moved there when he was a kid.
Okay.
There was a whole thing about him, but I think he came from like New York or something.
Wow.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
I know that.
Yeah, those guys are funny, but you know, it's kind of weird because it's the same production company that does both of those shows
Yeah.
and also the no prep stuff. And JJ's deal with $100,000, there was nobody from Oklahoma there.
Yeah.
So I don't know, you know, what's the deal with Oklahoma?
Right.
There's a lot of rumors about that stuff.
Yeah.
To like the average viewer, how come every time JJ's got something going on, JJ wins? Right? But I was there. I was actually there with the guys from Long Island.
Right.
They kicked everybody's ass.
Mm.
So it's like, well, you know, to the casual viewer, they're going to be like, well, this is fixed because JJ always wins. He wins all of these races, you know, and they won this $100,000 race. They won.
Right.
But I was physically there when they filmed the Long Island episode, and there was no cheating going on at all.
Yeah.
And one of the first things that the production crew, you know, they had a meeting with everybody, and they told us straight up, we are not going to tell you anything. We're just flies on the wall here. It's all you.
Mhm.
So if you guys are going to yell and scream, if you're going to fight, if you're going to, whatever you're going to do, I don't care how much you bet on the side, whatever it is, we're just recording the event.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive, you know, considering I've done other reality shows where there's a book.
Right.
So
Right.
no.
One of my buddies was race JJ when they were here.
Yeah.
And he said that they only got like 3 runs when they, but you know, JJ and his group were there all week, you know, prior.
Right.
So
Testing.
Yeah, testing.
Yeah.
So when they got up, they only got like he said they only got 3 runs.
Wow, that's tough.
And they had to do all that in the 3 runs, and they did it like during the day versus when they're running at night.
We tested for a night. We did a night test, and then we did the next day. Came back and ran all day. I'm talking like 9 hours, and there were 2 groups there. There was New York and there was Pennsylvania. So, and
Yeah,
we
well,
would,
Gary might have been in that Pennsylvania. We had a whole bunch of guys from Maryland and from there.
yeah. So
He
we were
had,
there, and they were running at night. I flew in, and by the time I got out of the airport and got to the hotel, it was like 10 o'clock at night, and I noticed there were none of my Long Island crew was at the hotel, and I called. And I'm like, where are you guys? Oh, I'll send you the directions. We found the place where they race. Nobody was going to tell us where it was, but then somebody squealed and they found it.
But I think
somebody knew Mustang Mike, who's part of JJ's deal, and he told them where to go. And it's this way out of nowhere. It's unbelievable. Now they race on a different street. They're on a completely different street now. Now they're on a street that's 4 lanes wide, 2 directions, and they shut the whole road off, and it's got lights on either side, and it's about as wide as Englishtown.
But I think because of how many cars were there, that's why they only got like, you know, you're there all day, but you're only getting 3 runs in, or some guys didn't even get that.
Oh
like
yeah,
said,
my guys got a lot of testing done, but nobody listened.
Yeah.
You know, you want your car to hook on a dead street like that, you got to put all the weight in the back, but you can't put it behind the axle. It's got to be above the axle.
Yeah, I'm thinking too, though, on a road like that, a 4-lane road, there's got to be a crown.
Yeah,
So that's a factor.
Yep. Well, they're running with the double yellow as the divider.
Yeah.
Um,
But the other thing too
it
is
was,
like
we had a good time.
that arm drop is a killer, man. That
Yeah.
makes or breaks it.
Yeah.
JJ's got a very distinctive arm drop.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You got to know it.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it was good, but New York got their ass handed to them.
Yeah.
They won a couple of the races, but not enough. Basically, that was the kind of deal where it was, you paired up cars and then
Yeah.
you bet.
Right.
So in terms of how much money was lost by New York, way more than was, won from JJ's group.
Yeah.
Yeah. They won more races than we did. So, but it was cool. Nice guys. But, they got a lot of hidden stuff in their cars. Every one of them has got complete computer control on their nitrous.
Yeah.
They're dialing them in based on what's going on and who they're racing. Sometimes they leave it 30%, sometimes they leave it 48%, and sometimes they leave it 10% and then they just dial it in on a timer.
Yeah.
They know their cars. They've been working with the same
Yeah.
stuff for years.
Yeah. That helps.
I'm just amazed that they wreck stuff and then literally within a couple of weeks they're back running again.
Yeah. I've
gotten phone calls. JJ was like, "Hey man, where I can find another Nova for zip tie?" I'm like, I'll look. So I got to get this thing together, man. I got 3 weeks. I got another show to do.
Yeah. 3 weeks of time.
They get it done. They actually get it
that's
done.
crazy.
Unreal.
Ration.
Yeah, when they were up here, no prep and that Reaper guy, man, that was a rough looking car, dude. I
Yeah.
don't know if I could strap myself in and hope it stayed together.
All
I don't
those
know,
cars
man.
are rough. When they had them
Yeah.
at SEMA, I'm like, Jesus. Murder Nova, total turd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reaper's
Well, it's
car.
amazing. Remember
I'm
when he
surprised he
started?
goes fast as they go.
Well, remember when he started losing and having problems, and they pulled that thing apart, and the frame was cracked, like in
Cracked.
7
Yeah,
places.
yeah.
I
Exactly.
mean, broken in 7 places. You're talking
Yeah.
about that car was like a flexi flyer, man. That was
Yep.
crazy.
None of their
how they
stuff
even-
is top notch safe at all.
Yeah.
It's a joke.
They're
And I
lucky they
noticed,
walk away
I
when
don't
they're
know
wrecking.
what it is, and it's not just Oklahoma guys. It's all the guys that are on this show. Whoever's mounting their front ends, their fiberglass noses, don't know shit about mounting them. They always take these GoPro cameras, they stick them on the door,
Yeah.
looking forward,
Mhm.
and every one of them,
Yeah.
here's the fender and here's the door. You could
Yeah.
literally look into they don't know how to do the Zeus buttons properly and get
Right.
the fender to attach properly in front of the door. The body lines are horrible, but
Mm.
that's not what they're into. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it's
They need
here's
to
the nose.
have Tim stop by. That's what they need.
Yeah.
They need Tim to stop.
Oh,
Man, Tim
no.
would have a field day, man.
Oh, he
He'd
did,
shake his head.
because Murder
Yeah, I
Nova
know.
went to Tim's shop.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That was years ago.
Oh
And-
my God! I
Yeah,
would've
he
been
went.
loved
He
to
went to
fly.
Tim's shop with his car. He wanted Tim to do some upgrades on it, and Tim said, "Nah, take this piece of shit elsewhere."
Yeah.
He wouldn't work on it.
Wow.
He's like, "No, thanks," because there's
I don't
nothing to
care.
work with here.
Holy smokes, man! I
Yeah.
would have loved to seen the look on that. That was,
Yeah, it's funny.
yeah, that's
There's
crazy.
a video floating around with that stuff
What?
of when what's his face from Murder Nova went to Tim McCamus' shop.
Oh, really? I'd love to
Yeah,
see
and they
that,
were
man.
talking back
Tim
and
cracks
forth,
me
and
up,
then
man.
and what's Murder Nova's name? What's his name?
Sean.
Sean.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So Sean climbs into a pro mod that was up on the jig table, and he's wearing flip flops, and he's got black painted toenails.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
And Tim's like looking at him like, "You're some fucking piece of shit." In the dead of winter, he's wearing flip flops.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, yeah.
It's just, I don't know, whatever.
It's crazy stuff.
Yeah. Hey, they're making money. Gotta give them that.
Make it while you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
See how long?
they're getting
and they're
banked.
still, and they're still on the ride too. I mean, people still.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it's still,
It's all good.
you know.
And
It's like watching
that no prep thing really took off.
Yeah, that
That's
Kyle
pretty
Kelly and
exciting.
all that go.
Yeah, Kyle's it's like a whiner.
God, that guy, man,
Yeah.
I drives me crazy watching that. But like I said, those guys
He
got it.
he fell up the stairs in terms of being hooked up with Musey's daughter.
Yeah,
Like, what does she see in that dude?
yeah.
You know, I've known
That's
Musey's
insane.
daughter since she got her license to race. I don't know. The cool thing is she's faster and quicker than he'll ever be.
Yeah,
Unreal.
but it's funny,
a video,
man.
there's a video of her driving Shocker in
Yeah, I know.
car.
I've seen that. Yeah,
That in car, and let me tell you something. She's come a long way, and she knows how to handle that car real well. She's very specific in what she's doing behind the wheel. She knows what's going on, but because for a while, I was really afraid for her. Every time she got in a new car, she would roll a thing, put it up into the guardrail, turn it sideways. She had a hard time in the beginning trying to handle that kind of horsepower, but I think she's kind of got it now. So, but
Yeah, it's crazy stuff.
he's on the deal
yeah. He's got
thanks
it,
to his
but, man,
girlfriend.
but I can't believe, man, that guy won. I mean, like I said, but you know, they got it. They made it. So
Yeah, good friend of mine, former customer Gary. He just he got back into pro mod racing. He had a Jerry Bickle '69 Camaro built, and he's using Musey power. And the freaking motors, like, you don't even want to know how much they cost. And they got to hire a guy to tune it.
yeah, it's crazy stuff.
They
man.
actually hire a guy out of Musey's shop to take care of the tune on it. I'm like, oh my God. It's big. I think it's 959 inches.
Wow.
It's got 3 or 4 stages of nitrous on it. It's pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy
Fuel
stuff.
injection, electronic fuel injection. So you're dealing with a lot, you know, when you're playing with that stuff, because you're messing with your fuel map, and you're messing with your nitrous. I'm out. I don't want to know anything about it.
Yeah.
It's too much, too many variables.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I
Crazy
melted.
stuff.
I melted a few motors. With too much nitrous.
Oh yeah. I've done that. Last motor that was in the Trans Am, I melted it at Englishtown. That was the last time I drove the car.
Wow.
That was a long time ago.
Pulled apart.
1992.
Valves.
1992 at the what do you call it? The Super Chevy Sunday at E-Town.
Yeah.
If you had a Chevy motor, you could race. And I was actually racing a guy from Long Island too, Timmy Hart. He was a Hamptons guy. Used to race at the Hamptons all the time. And I melted the motor, hit the second stage, wasn't right. Pushed the crank right out of the block.
I'll do it.
Almost totaled the car. It was sideways. What a mess. And then that was it. We took that motor apart. Only thing I kept out of it was the valve covers, the what do you call it? The gear drive. I had one of those Milodon gear drives. Intake manifold, carburetor. Everything else was junk. Water pump. Everything else was garbage. Oh yeah, the fluid damper on the front that survived. And flex plate was twisted because it locked up. It was a mess, absolute mess. 2 holes in the pan, 2 holes in the block. All the oil came out, all the water came out.
Total carnage.
Cylinder number 2, the piston was literally sideways in the bore.
Oh, nice. We don't like sitting like that.
That's like
I broke like
peg and round
6,
hole.
yeah,
right?
it broke like 6 valves. When it came apart, everything came apart. Destroyed everything. Even the camshaft cracked.
So Ray, you said you took your car into the body shop,
Yeah. Left
the GTO,
Yeah.
to get painted.
Are you bringing him a drum to try and match?
No, actually, the car, the paint is already set. It's a 1970 78 anniversary color. That's the color that the hood is painted. But I mean, it's not going to match. It's not going to be a gold
It's
flake.
gold.
It's going to be gold. It'll be, and it is a metal flake.
Well,
It's
no,
a
if
very fine flake.
If you
Yeah.
made it the exact same metal flake, it would look like one of those bass boats.
I'd have to do it like a gasser then. You know,
Yeah,
it'd have to
yeah.
be a gasser. But no, I got to go over there Saturday. Now I got to take it apart. And that's even when I met this guy years ago, he told me when we first took the car in to do the first wave, the rough body work. He said, "Listen, if you want to come in," he goes, "I got to put a guy on the car. So if you want to come in and take it apart," he goes, "basically come into my shop and take your car apart." He goes, "And it's hours I don't have to charge you."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Man, who the hell ever says that to you?"
That's
Like,
what I used to do with the Firebird with Bobby Lasordo, the guy that did my paint work out of
Yeah.
Huntington.
Yeah.
I'd bring him the car. I would basically take everything apart ahead of time.
Yeah.
But then I would finish taking things apart. And on the first one, I actually did the chemical stripping on the car in his shop.
So this is not only that, because once he's going to be in there too, it'll just be the two of us. And he says, "Yeah, well, then when you're done getting your car apart," he goes, "then I got to walk over and finish like his Chevelle, the one I was doing. I did the engine on it all. They just painted that car, so it's beautiful, black, white stripes." He goes, "Yeah, good night. You can come back and work on my car and do like the wiring under the." He's got like a laundry list of stuff. I'm like, yeah, okay, this isn't going to end. And then the Mustang is sitting there, so he wants me to rebuild the steering column. I'm like, look, let me see if I can get the parts. You know, if there's an internal, there's bushings and could be a bearing. You know, I got to see what's in there, and I need the parts.
Yeah, there's a bearing down in the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, it's sloppy. It's all over. But you know, that's why I said I want to look at the the exhaust and the if I could get the exhaust squared away in that bell housing, will make putting it together a lot easier.
Oh yeah.
That's cool.
So I told Terry before, John, I'm gonna have to do is since the car's gonna be gold, I have to get like a little baby China symbol and mount it on the antenna, on the radio antenna outside.
That'd be cool.
Right.
Find somebody's beat up, broken symbol, throw it on a lathe, and just cut the top of the bell out.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I noticed something before. I was trying to mute. I've been muting the drums and all, and I put some foam blocks on the cymbals so I could actually hit that. But the Ludwig cymbal stand I have, I got a crash ride on there, and it doesn't really move too much, and the wig nut isn't tight. Where the other cymbal stands, the cymbals really flop around a lot. I'm like, what is that? I don't know if it's supposed to be that way. I don't know.
I'm trying to think. I don't have any sands out here. I don't know. Mine moved, but maybe not that much either. And they're all Ludwig stuff.
Yeah, this the one
Ludwig or some of them are Gibraltar.
Yeah, this one does.
Because later on, when I went to the rack and I started taking stuff out of the cymbal vault, like trying to be like Neil Peart and have a bazillion things to hit, it was much easier for me to go to the drum store and get the tilt head with just a stick.
Right.
From Gibraltar, and then I could put that into the Gibraltar mount.
I was watching a video last night. There was a guy doing actually, it was a pretty good video. I don't remember his name, but he was talking about the history of snare drumming. He says, and he went through the whole thing about it, why, all the different grips. And he says, a traditional grip was made for, marching drum with your hand. He says, that's why if you play traditional grip, whether it's an open or closed, and I do play open, by the way, because I actually looked today. I'm like, oh yeah, it's definitely an open grip. I don't know. He says you want to tilt that snare to the right, so the left side is higher because it'll be ergonomically right for your left.
And that's the way it was when they marched.
Exactly. So he says that the easiest way is go get yourself a snare stand. He reaches under it, and the thing he goes, it's on a ball mount.
That's how I have.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So mine isn't a ball mount, but I was still able to do it and then just turn things around. I'm like, yeah, that's nice. A ball mount. Wow.
Yeah, mine's on a ball mount. Same deal. It's got a knob you turn that moves the basket in and out.
Right.
And down next to that is a knob that loosens the ball, and it allows you to do any angle you want.
Right.
And then there's a wing nut which raises the whole stick up.
Right. So of course, when I did that, it raised the left side. So now my hand is under the hi-hat. I'm like hitting the hi-hat underneath. So I'm like, all right, I got to space this stuff apart some more. I'm like,
lower the drum down.
Well, I'm trying to do what they're saying and have it a little higher, like thigh height. they were saying like he actually did a thing. He's like he named 3 drummers who were very good. I knew I kind of knew of them. I don't remember the names though. Who played with a very low seating position, and actually he didn't even mention Nico McBain, you know, from Eye of the Beast. The hell band is that? Not Motorhead. Anyway, Nico, you can't even see him over the kid. He sits so low, you know.
Oh, yeah, he's got those tom toms that go all the way around.
Yeah. But he said there's only 3 really good, accomplished drummers who sit with a low seat and a low snare, and then everything else is high. He goes, really, you want to sit higher, you want your snare higher. You really should be in that. It's a better ergonomic position, you know, than talking about your back and everything. So I figured, okay, since I'm starting from scratch again, I might as well just try and do it the better way, you know, the right way. So
Sure.
But yeah, now I'm like, wow, it's cool. It's like you're just doing a roll from the snare to the tom with my left hand. I can like just do a little kick up and I'm hitting the bottom of the hi hat. I'm like, hey, that's a little Buddy Rich thing.
Yeah,
you know?
you got to move the hi hat a little.
Yeah, so I had to drag everything out and space it out a little bit, but
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun shit.
that's like mine. My stuff's spaced out a lot. It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to put it back up. But like I
Yeah.
said, I gotta get rid of this thing first. So we'll see how it goes.
Right.
I sent him the rolling tally.
Nice.
I said, you know, I'm laying out money because it's getting it done faster. And he's like, oh, I appreciate it. Send me
Yeah,
the number. I'll cut you a check this week and get it right away.
That's nice.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah,
it. No
the other
problem.
thing I was thinking-
Oh, you know what he decided he wants to do?
What's
He
that?
wants to go with Hydro Boost.
I was going to mention that to you the other day,
Yeah,
but yeah. Well, okay.
yeah.
I mean, that takes up some space too.
Well, it's not a lot of space behind
No,
the
it's spacing
Master.
it out. It's not. You don't have the booster. Yeah, it's not a big
Right. It's
booster.
going to move it out, but luckily I bought. Oh, you can't see it. I bought the compact Willwood.
Right.
It's like an inch and a half shorter than their regular Master.
Right.
It's a little wider, but it's shorter.
Yeah.
And it's a really nice piece. So putting the Hydro Boost behind it is only going to move it out, I think, about 3.5 inches from the firewall.
That's not bad.
So it'll be fine. You know, it's above everything. I got clearance for that, so it'll work. And then the best thing was that windshield wiper motor I got.
That's very nice.
That was awesome.
That's very nice.
Totally awesome.
I just thought while we were talking here about all this Ford stuff, I should just reach out to Evan Smith. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
What am I wasting? You know, what am I doing, man? I mean, the
He
guy's-
knows it all. He's home too.
Mm.
I was talking to him. He's like trying to
Yeah.
do what he can do. And he's like kind of afraid that some of that stuff's going to come to an end because he did a lot of NASCAR stuff
Yeah.
and the drag racing. So I don't know when that's going to restart.
Right.
He'll be running around like a maniac trying to catch up. But he's been posting all kinds of things that he's cooking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, I made this the other day, made that the other day. So
You know-
we have this really, really awesome steakhouse. It's like real historic. It's called Burns.
Uh-huh.
Burns Steakhouse in downtown Tampa. It's the kind of place that if you want to eat there, you most likely got to make a reservation like 30 to 40 days ahead of time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, they're doing takeout. So you go online, they have a takeout menu, or they'll cut your meat for you and you pick it up and you take it and cook it.
Oh, nice.
So he was ordering, like all different types of all different cuts, and he was telling the guy, "Hey, make this 1.5 inches thick, and they'll butch up whatever you want,
Nice.
not a problem." So then he's posting stuff on Facebook. He's like, "Johnny G, check me out."
Yeah.
Okay.
I know,
man.
It was one year I was at a friend's house in Jersey, in fact, at a Christmas party, and he just texts me these pictures of his trains and
Yeah.
it's like his chicken cutlet palm. So I'm sending pictures of the lasagna and the meat sauce. We're sending these food pictures back and forth.
Yep.
Like, holy shit.
He's got this huge train setup.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
It
big.
takes him a solid month.
Yeah.
This year he built like sawhorses
Mhm.
and 3/4 inch plywood and made this huge like U-shaped setup. Takes
Right.
up the whole living room.
That's wild.
And he's got
I
like
had a-
3 different track systems within, and his stuff's all Lionel, the big
Yeah.
stuff, O gauge.
Yeah.
And then he's got all these light up buildings, and his Lionels are the ones with the sound effects in them.
Oh, nice.
He's got some of the engines and the tenders that you hear the whistle automatically when it comes to the crossing.
Nice.
There's like sensors and stuff.
Yeah.
And you can
My
hear the
parents
engine.
My parents had a neighbor when I lived there, and you walked into his house, and he took the door to the bedroom and switched it the other way so it opened out.
Uh-huh.
So you open it out, and he put a subfloor in about 4.5 feet up. So you
Wow.
crawled out, and you crawled all the way underneath this platform, and you popped your head up in the center of the room. He had and it was like a laid out like your drums, of
Uh-huh.
all the switches and controls, and you would sit in the
God.
room, and the whole room was just one big train track, and he plastered in mountains on the wall.
Yeah.
So the train would go along, and then all of a sudden it would come up and go along the top of the wall on the ceiling.
Oh gosh.
Crazy thing, man. We go over there, me and my brother. We would just sit there and, like you see, crawl in, and you name it, man. You could have 3-4 trains running at one time. He had all
Right.
these tracks. It was just like a 10 by 12 room or something that
Oh,
was all
gosh.
raised up. It was
Yeah.
insane.
That's wild.
He's a Lionel collector, so he's got a bunch of different engines and cars, box
Mhm.
cars, flat cars, the whole deal. And then he's actually got the New York like subway. It's the cars from the New York City subway system.
It's nice.
Wow.
That's Lionel, they're awesome. So he sets up like 2 or 3 different tracks, and they're independent of each other. And he's got, like I said, he's got all these buildings that are lit up, and then he does like this whole diorama. He's got Raceway Park against the wall, and he uses like cotton for the smoky burnouts. It
Right.
takes like a month to put it together,
Sure.
and he doesn't start taking it apart like till the end of February.
I was gonna say, yeah, it kind of
Yeah.
sucks to take it down,
Yep,
Crazy.
that's good stuff. Yeah, it's really cool. We go to train shows together. There's
Okay.
all kinds of stuff like that going on here.
Yeah.
So they call me up, yo man, come on, we're gonna go down to the fairgrounds. They're having a big train show.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, let's go. I have old Lionels from the 50s.
Uh-huh.
One where you put the pill in the smokestack.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and the thing puffs. I
My
still have.
dad's got a set, and what was the American Flyer?
That's another one. Yeah.
He's got a whole bunch of that stuff. Crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Are your parents finally staying home, Brian, or what? Your parents finally staying home? They're being good.
Yeah. They finally got the message. I thought I was going to have to take the wheel off the car or something
Right.
to keep them home. I'll drive. My dad got pulled over. He got pulled over for speeding. Now this, my dad's never gone over the speed, and the cop asked him, my dad's like, well, what's the problem, officer? And he goes, is everything okay? And he's like, yeah, we're just out, seeing what's going on. And he goes, well, you're seeing a little too fast, because he's like 19 over the speed limit. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, he goes, I see 2 older, I see move. I didn't know if there was a problem. You really shouldn't be out, blah, blah, blah. Gives him the whole lecture. And my dad's like, man, I can't believe he gave me a warning for speed. I haven't gotten a ticket in,
Yeah.
40 years or whatever. I was just like, Dad, stay home. Like,
Unreal. Well, there's nobody really on the highways around here.
no.
It's
Even
it's
the
really,
tool-
really light.
The tool truck got up to 55. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like, holy crap. I
Wow.
gotta watch the tool. I'm gonna get a speeding ticket in the tool truck going through the speed cameras,
Yep.
So,
Yeah, we don't even have those. So luckily now, like the minimum speed limit that you find on the highway is like 80 to 82.
Yeah.
I went down to Fort Myers today. I got down in a record time because I had not a lot of traffic at all. And I'm talking about super social distancing. I'm running like 85 miles an hour. I look at my rearview mirror, and the next car is like 3/4 of a mile behind me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's no one in front of me. And the cops they are not even interested in pulling you over.
No, they don't want no.
They don't. They could care less. So you drive
They,
right by, you know.
And in my area, they lowered the speed limit.
Really?
They lowered the speed limit, and they increased. It's now a felony if you're 15 over.
Wow.
Wow.
So they dropped. So they took. I read something where they took the average speed. You know what people going over the speed limit. They took the average from that. So they cut all the speed. Like it used to be 40 out on front of my house. Now it's 35.
Wow.
And so when you're doing your 62 miles an hour or whatever the average speed, you're 15 over. You're over. So it could be actually a felony now. So
did they go around changing speed limit signs?
Oh yeah, it's actually kind of funny because on one side of my street it has the old speed limit, and then on the other side has the new. It's been like
weird.
that. It's been like that for about a couple months. They haven't changed the other side, or
Cruising
they forgot
around
to.
here, all you see is like those highway traffic signs.
Yeah.
It says speeding can lead to a crash. Okay. And all beaches are closed.
Yeah.
The whole way, all the way down to Fort Myers.
Yeah. Well, a couple of my buddies, the cops aren't going to pull you over because they can't afford to get sick. They don't want to touch anybody, or they don't want to bring anything back. It's really, like I said, it's kind of bizarre right now.
This whole thing is bizarre.
Yeah.
I'm like completely amazed that I'm living through basically a plague.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you look at that and you think back to, when you were in like 5th grade and they taught you about stuff that happened way back when,
Mhm.
and I'm like, okay, cool. But here it is again.
Yeah.
And this country, I guess the whole world, but this country was completely unprepared.
Oh yeah.
When they got to worry about,
We're still on.
when they got to worry about shit coming out of China, when somebody that you think is I've always thought that the 3M company was like mom's apple pie.
Yeah.
That's an American company, the Minnesota Mining Company.
Right.
I learned about 3M through my dad with reel-to-reel tapes.
Mm.
They were the big company for making reel-to-reel tapes. 3M. And you find out that 90% of what they create today comes out of China.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like, really? What the hell's with you people?
Mm.
And I got to worry about all of our first responders, and they're running out of masks. Why doesn't this country have stockpiles of millions of, this protective gear and goggles and masks sitting in warehouses?
Right. We never needed it. That's why.
Here are some N95s right now. I'm sending to my brother, which is in New York. His buddy or his partner, Jason's a registered nurse, and they gave him one mask. They gave him one mask a month ago,
Really?
and told him, "You're responsible for this. You can't take it." He has to leave it in a brown paper sack in his lot. He takes it off, puts it in, and he has to keep it.
How come? See, now I noticed from the what I'm in. Why aren't hospitals having ultraviolet sterilization units?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't they have those? That's a common thing. You could buy UV bulbs anywhere. Okay, there's a gazillion companies that make UV bulbs in various wattages, and all you need to do is wave that UV bulb over that mask for a certain period of time, and it's totally sterilized.
It's funny you say that because just today, Mike from the shop was telling his son, Mike, he went online and bought a blow-up tent that you bring a car in.
Right.
You set off this chemical bomb that basically kills everything.
Sure.
It vents it, and then you bring it out, and then you set it, and you put a UV light in it.
Yeah.
Which sterilizes everything. So he goes, we gotta put this on the lot. They're gonna kind of make his little side business.
Got the virus.
Yeah, right. God forbid he coughed. Yeah, spray some WD-40. There you go. Nice. And they're gonna try and do a little side thing. So he's like, name it something catchy. I'm like, how about like douche your Dodge or something.
Yeah.
Your Dodge.
I mean, you're seeing these videos for these. There's a company that has it. They're calling it a robot. It's really just a cart with wheels
yeah.
that's got
yeah.
a boatload of UV lights on it, and they
They use
roll it
yeah.
into the room, and they flip it on, and it
Mhm.
basically burns out everything.
Right.
Well,
right.
they could be taking all of those masks and putting them in there, and literally sterilize all of those masks.
right. Right.
And it does it. It's not something that takes a long time. It literally does it within minutes.
Sure.
But nobody's talking about that part of
Right.
being able to reuse these things by sterilizing them to the point where they're nice and clean again, like brand new. You know, but again, we're dependent on the shitheads that started this whole deal.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, even our supposed mortal enemy, Russia. Look at all the stuff they sent to JFK today.
What they send? I didn't see.
They sent one of those huge, giant air cargo planes where the whole nose goes up.
Yeah, like a
With
C-130.
like,
See with
yeah,
130.
with like 300 or 3,000 pounds of masks and respirators and all kinds of stuff. Putin was like, yeah, I'll send it to you, no problem.
Nice.
Go figure. That's that giant birthday cake that the Democrats have been waiting for.
Right.
See, he's friends with Putin.
Exactly. And find out Bernie Sanders ordered it.
Where's he been? I hope he's dead. Where's he been?
No, they've all been quiet now.
They all been quiet.
He hasn't said a word since that last debate.
Right. No.
They all of them. Biden,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
of them. You haven't
Well,
seen
supposedly Trump's people, excuse me, called Biden, and
yeah.
Biden's got some sort of plan or something like that, and he was
Right.
like, "Oh yeah, I'll work with you."
Right.
So Biden planning on putting the olive branch out to Trump
Yeah.
in terms of something he's got up his sleeve. Maybe he's kind of thinking it's a way to get a foot in the door to win the presidency. Still not going to happen,
Sure.
you know. And then you got that asshole shit. He's gonna him and Pelosi. They're gonna form another group like the 9/11 Commission because Trump didn't do enough.
Right.
He didn't start soon enough. He knew about it. He's evil. Every night before I go to bed, I go, I hope the two of them get sick and die. Swear to God.
Now, John.
Absolutely.
Do we need to sit down and watch some Barney tapes?
Yeah,
Love thy neighbor. Come on.
Not them. And they're not my neighbors.
We're supposed to be loving people.
No. 3 people that I would literally have the biggest celebration party if they kicked the bucket would be, well, actually 4. Schumer, Schumer, Pelosi, shit, and that old fart. That what's his name? He spends billions of dollars trying to fight everybody all the time. Oh my God, I don't even remember his name. He's this craggy old Democrat guy, and he's always shoving money everywhere else to beat up Trump. Yeah, him. I forget his name. That's how unimportant he is.
Yeah.
Idiots.
John, relax.
I'm totally fine.
Okay, you're working. My blood pressure's getting up. Right.
Oh yeah. See, not me. I'm fine.
All right.
That's the New York in me.
Yeah.
I know. You guys.
I could dish it out and not even pop a heartbeat higher than I was before.
But seriously speaking, though, Ray, I asked. I mean, you guys hanging in okay up there? Are you?
Yeah. We're doing fine.
You're not going into work at all, or the shop, or anything like that.
I was down at the shop, but yeah, I didn't. Like I said, now it's over at the buy shop. But they're like skeleton crews too. There's like nobody there.
Yeah.
You know.
I keep, every day I wind up listening to Cuomo.
Oh, geez, yeah, I know.
And he's talking about how Nassau is really starting to ramp up.
And that's the funny thing. The other day they were giving a thing on News 12 about the towns with the highest incidence. And Woodmere is like 160 or so because it's all Hasidic Jews, and what they do is they didn't stop gathering. They were getting together for big things.
Yeah.
and they all infected each other. And out in Southold is another one. But then they went through the towns that had the highest incidence. And I'm listening to the names of the towns, and they're saying like, Roosevelt and Uniondale, and then Bayshore, Brentwood. Like it's 3 towns in. It's like, okay, every town they're naming is a conglomeration of Huntington Station, and Huntington
Low economics.
low economic, a lot, probably a good amount of illegals, and yeah, they're still hanging out. They're getting together. They're not
Sure.
doing what everybody else is doing. Town I live in is on that list, And the other thing, my wife was really pissed. We went to there's a shop right next to a Walmart up in Uniondale, and the ShopRite's a good store. So, but you go in the parking lot, and there's just latex gloves everywhere.
Yeah.
And my wife's like, I can't believe it. Like, here's the garbage pail. Here's this garbage, and they just threw them on the floor.
Sure.
At garbage. Like, what the fuck? So she was going off. Like, take it easy, Lynn. Easy.
Yeah.
Have a Hershey bar. Here, have some chocolate. Take it easy.
Right. Gloves and masks. It's like the new when they used to have that wave of needles on the beach on Long Island.
Right.
Yep.
Now it's gloves and masks.
Right.
Well, it was funny. It was funny that you say that because I had one guy and he was all. I had one customer, and this guy, is like wrapped up to no end, with gloves, and he's got the face shield, the glasses. He's got a paint respirator that he bought from me. I mean, the guy's decked out, and he's all done, and he goes over and he gets in his car and he goes to get lunch and comes back. Well, I happen to still be there, and I said, hey, Eddie, dude, you're all wrapped up. I said, but you're wearing, your gloves, you're carrying that stuff all around in the car. I mean, you're not
transporting. Yeah.
I mean, that's not, the whole, and then of course, like you said, then you have the other guy that's going through, I got one guy going through a box of gloves, every 45 seconds because he's changing gloves every 10 minutes.
How does he keep getting them on his hands?
Huh?
How does he keep getting them on his hands after his hands get hot?
Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, this guy's going through gloves like crazy. And he called me again. He goes, man, set 2 more boxes out front. I need to pick them up on the way home.
Tell him, dude,
God.
straight. They're like, $3 a box.
Yeah, but I bought those Harbor Freight ones once.
Yeah.
You pull them on and they explode.
Oh, yeah.
They are the worst gloves ever.
I never had.
You got to look on the side on the date. That's the problem with them when they're not stored properly or they get a little bit of age, they rip and tear like that.
Well, I have a
terrible
on the wall of my garage, and even that, they're out there all year. In the hot summer and in the cold winter, I noticed that sometimes after that, I'll put one on, it'll just rip. It's like weather, temperature changes.
I bought some. Trying to think of the name.
I
bought
learned
some
my
pretty
lesson.
expensive ones from Lowe's, and they've been awesome. They're very stretchy.
Oh yeah.
They're black.
When you put them on, are they Duraflock? Are they Duraflock?
I don't remember the name. I got them. They're back on the other end of the shop.
Oh.
You go to pull them on, and they got a really good, like a balloon kind of a stretch.
Nice.
And then and they fit really good, and you can like pick a dime up off the table. So
I always put them on like if I'm tearing a motor down or if I'm going to do like suspension work or brake work that I know is going to be super super dirty and greasy, and that's just and then I never use them on the way back, for putting it back together.
Only time I put them on is if I'm doing like fiberglass work.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I don't mind getting my hands dirty. I don't even wear like the mechanics wear gloves.
Why?
No. Yeah.
I don't wear any of that stuff, and I'll just get greasy, and then I get out the Gojo and the brush, and that's me. I gotta work raw.
I think I told you once we did this a while ago. We were sitting, it was over somewhere having dinner, sitting at the table, and my daughter's like, "Dad, like, aren't you gonna wash your hands?" I'm like, "What?" I did. I'm like, "Oh, my wife," she was, "You don't know your dad." She's, "Those hands are clean." She was, "He didn't wash his hands like 3 times." She was, "It'll take a few days for that to wear off." Like,
when I sold the chassis shop, it took about a year, I guess, for my hands for my cuticles to not be like totally torn up.
Right.
For like permanent staining in my fingertips and like cracks because
Yeah.
like a typical car asshole. If I didn't have any Gojo, I went right over to the Snap-on
Oh.
parts washer.
There's parts cleaner. Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
Well,
or
that
if I didn't
work-
have that, I'd spray the Berkebile.
Oh yeah,
2+2.
probably 2+2.
Yeah.
The work
My skin,
stuff
I'm
that
surprised I don't have
sent you,
cancer.
All right.
That work stuff will be real good. It keeps your hands from drying out and it cleans real
Yeah.
good. I don't know if you ever tried
No.
any of that stuff.
I've been
No.
using this stuff for years by Gojo. This Hand Medic.
Yeah.
It's a
Uh-huh.
cream, and it's it sucks right. Well, my hands are always like dried anyway, but it sucks right into your hands. It doesn't leave a greasy residue, and
That works if you, like I said, if you just put water in your hands and just use a little bit. You don't have to use a lot, and when you rub it in, it brings out your natural oils in your hands. So it's not a greasy or anything like that.
Mhm.
But especially during the winter, it keeps your cuticles, it keeps your hands, it keeps all that stuff. The stuff's
Yeah.
incredible, and it's really great. Like I said, taking it'll take the color. You got to be kind of careful, but it'll clean up paint. Like,
Really?
yeah, if you have paint, like even if you get paint on your clothes, if you take a little bit of that stuff and water and rub it in, it will take out like fingernail polish and
Get
stuff
outta
like
here.
that. I mean, it's like really good stuff.
Works is the
That's
name of it?
cool.
Yeah, I sent you a small bottle.
The green stuff, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
green
yeah, yeah.
powder.
Right.
Try
right.
it. I mean, really. I mean, like I said, it's incredible. It's really good, and it's incredible. And the best part about it that I like, because my hands used to get all torn up,
Right.
to dry out. And the only problem with the Gojo, it's a petroleum base.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use the Gojo, that citrus orange.
Right, but
With
it's a
the
petroleum
pumice.
base. So when you so when you put water on your hands and you put
Yeah.
that pump of Gojo on it, what does water and oil do? It repels
yeah.
and it
No,
slides
I always-
right off.
I hit the pump first and start rubbing it in,
Yeah.
get it
Right.
to work, and then I put the water. Then a little
Yeah,
bit of
most
water.
people
Keep
will get their
going.
hands wet first. I watch them in the shop. I tell shop owners, I said,
Yeah.
35% of your soap is going down the drain before it even gets used
You gotta-
because they
Right.
slide off.
You got to read the container on how they want, because some of them they want you to have a damp hand, some of them they want it dry. You got to read what the soap is saying.
Yeah.
But John,
But,
you love this. One of the things I even brought one at the shop. I have a glass jar from like Pecorino Romano cheese.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
got all the big holes in, and that's what I keep the powdered hand soap in. And
Yeah,
so, but years ago, we always had that in the house. So my mother, I think, did that when we were like growing up. She like took an old cheese jar and said, "Yeah, put your soap in there," and that's what we have for our hand soap. Me and my brother. But people look at like, yeah, only you would use like a cheese container. I'm like, you know what? It holds a lot of soap. It's got nice big holes. I'm
It's
like,
awesome.
it's
It's like the way to go.
always use that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
good.
Anko soap in there, whatever it is, the the white powdered shit. But
That's great.
yeah,
I'm
Oh,
taking
well.
tomorrow off.
I think everyone
Man.
is.
Yeah.
No, I'm working.
Yeah, John, had you had a chance to try out using Zoom yet with a meeting or anything?
No, I got to sign up on that.
You got to do it because I want to get my buddy Christian on the show this Sunday. We did it last week. Had Brian
Okay. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
Rod. Like I said, we all use Zoom, but yeah, I can get.
I'll
you
do
in.
that. I'll open up an account with that thing tomorrow.
Like I said, if you want to do a test hit, let me know and we'll fire
Okay.
it up. We'll-
I saw a thing that said sign up for free, but then there's another pay thing. Which
no.
one do I do?
do the free. Pay is the pro account. That's the one that's like $15 a month. But you can
Right.
just open a free account. That's all.
Okay.
It's just email address and a password. That's it.
All right. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that tomorrow, and then
In fact, That's what happened.
Saturday we're taking the boat out.
All right. When this wasn't
And then
hooking up,
Sunday I'll be home.
I tried opening up. I was opening up a Zoom screen. I was going to start sending you guys invitations, and then Zoom had me on the screen. And then I came back. Then I hear the noise from playing in traffic. I'm like, oh, I know what that means. That's Lewis's screen. So I came back to this thing, and he's asking me to come back on. I couldn't get in here because my camera and microphone were being used over there again. So I had
Ah.
to kill that, cycle this, redo it again. I'm like, fuck.
That's what happened. I mean, when you were saying going to Zoom, I went to Zoom.
Right. I should have
went-
waited.
I went to Zoom too, and that's why I lost my audio.
Right. Now, if you want to do it, so if tomorrow's better, John, you want to do a test hit tomorrow? You can do it for like 5
Yeah,
10
yeah. I'll get it loaded up. I'll send you a text.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. And then, like I said, I'll be working on the car on Sunday.
Right.
So I'll be in the garage. So I'll just drag the laptop in the garage.
Yeah, my buddy Christian owns a bike shop. He's been on the show a lot. And what he did, they have full machine shop and a big 3D printer. He switched over to 3D printing masks.
Yeah.
You know, he said, listen, I'm going to open a Patreon page. He goes, but it's only to raise money to buy material to print masks. He goes, I'm not making money on this. He goes, I just want to offset the cost.
Yeah.
Or if people want to donate material to plastic, and some people did. They sent them plastic. So yeah, he's now cranking out respirator masks.
Yeah.
So
Hey, does maybe I don't know, either of you guys know. Does anybody make a Apple cord? Because they don't have a thing for a headphone anymore.
Oh, right.
So it's that Apple deal. I want to be able to. I'm trying to figure out how to plug my phone into the stereo system here in the garage.
You may have to go Bluetooth.
So I need to figure out how to adapt.
I just bought, but this is for Android. It's a 3.5 millimeter to 3.5 millimeter. That'll go into the headphone jack of a phone. I just
Right, but I don't have a headphone jack.
You don't. So you really, the easiest way to do that is with a Bluetooth adapter. Now, the phone obviously has Bluetooth, but what's the audio source in the shop? Is it a regular stereo?
It's just regular stereo, so it's
Okay.
RCA stuff.
I've been watching this shit on YouTube. There's two guys I watch that do a lot of stereo modifications. I'm watching vintage drums, vintage stereos, vintage fucking cars, vintage fucking everything. But this one guy, he buys these little Bluetooth adapters. There's like probably 8 or 10 brands out there. I'll send you some links. I'll put some links together for you. I got to make a note. Well, because now there's like 3 things I got to do, so I'm screwed. But literally, what it is, a little black box that has 2 RCA connectors on one end,
Right.
go into the receiver and in input. If you plug it into the wall with a little AC adapter, and it's a Bluetooth device, so you have your phone find that, and then you can pipe whatever's on your phone right through that into the stereo, out to the speakers.
I thought Apple made something like that. I think my daughter has one.
They probably
I'll look.
Because I asked her, because she said that
If they have the Apple flat blade to like a typical mini headphone jack,
right,
then it's a done deal, because I have a cord that's RCA on one side, 2 RCA jacks on one side, and it's the pin adapter on the other end.
right.
So it's either that, or because the problem is I'm making noise in the garage. So when your show comes on Sunday, I shut the radio off and I bring it up on the phone.
Right.
And I move the phone around with me wherever I'm working, so I can hear what's going on.
Right.
And I'm listening to you through the internet, through the telephone.
Yeah.
So because I'm too lazy to just drag the laptop out here and sit that on the workbench and just plug in.
That's
and
not
run the sound right out of the jack on the laptop directly into the stereo system.
And that's really not a big deal.
That's the easiest way to go. I'm just too lazy to unplug everything.
You've eclipsed laziness on that one, man.
Yeah, exactly.
very true.
Well, actually,
that's a benchmark right there.
I'm looking around here. Does this thing even have a jack like that? Oh yeah, it does. Okay. Yeah. There's a regular stereo 1/8-inch pin on there.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm lazy.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Because it would sound even better. I have like really, really good Bose speakers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got a nice stereo system. It's a Sony head.
Right.
Multi, and I got these beautiful Bose speakers.
Yeah, I got my buddies. I was at a friend's house years ago, and his dad had some. I'm always looking at old audio gear, and I said, "What's my dad's stuff?" He was going to throw it out, but he didn't want to throw it out. And, it was an old receiver I took, and it was a set of Altec Lansing speakers.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, the Cerwin Vegas. You
Oh
know,
God.
2A with a bass port, bookshelf speakers. I'm like, well, what's he gonna do with them? Well, the cones are bad. I'm like, you know what? I can fix those. He goes, really?
Sure.
What? Take them. So he gave them to me. I reconed them. I put them in the garage, and man, they sound fucking great.
That's cool.
Yeah, Cerwin Vega, voice of the theater, is like nice.
Yeah.
Crank them up.
We had at the chassis shop, I had we had old speaker cabinets, PA speaker cabinets.
Yeah.
They had 10-inch drivers,
Oh wow.
6-inch mid range, and it had those horns
Right.
with the tweeter,
Yeah. Yeah.
with the array horns,
Yeah. Yeah.
and we had 6 of those.
Wow.
We had 6 of those in the shop.
Yeah. Put on Rush now. There you go.
I wired all of that stuff in, and
Some
then I had,
YYZ. It's some YYZ cranking, man.
yeah. I had a 600-watt Crown amp
Crown, nice. That's nice.
that was like part of the PA system from when I had the band in high school,
Right.
and I never got rid of this thing.
Yeah.
And I had that sitting on a shelf above the receiver.
Yeah.
And we just plugged directly into it, and you had 600 watts running through 6 PA speakers.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something, it filled up that 8,000 square feet.
Sure.
There were times when we'd be working real late at night trying to get a car done, getting ready to go to a race, and it was like crank that giant knob up.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could hear, with the garage doors open in the summer,
Yeah.
you could hear that rock and roll from like 4 or 5 blocks away.
That's cool.
That was cool. Those were the good days.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
Unreal.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy. How much longer has this thing got?
I don't know. We're at an hour and 41. We did almost an hour before. It was about 10 to 10.
This thing is freaking rocking everywhere.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, it's got to end with probably within 10, 15 minutes.
I guess it's probably just like a 2-hour deal.
Yeah. Yeah, because we cut off at 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's still hanging out? It says there's 13 people on here.
They're not all there. That's who was registered.
Yeah, that's who was.
Oh, Mike Linner was there. That's who Terry was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like all of these people are gone.
A lot of them, yeah.
Who's still here? If you're here, say something.
Yeah, anybody still there? I don't know. Well, you can see, I got Mike Rio. Says he left. I don't know. He started following me on Instagram, but I don't know. I guess he knows me from here because I'm not familiar with him. John Day left from Canada. So he was saying he can only drive around in his area in Canada. They can't drive out of the area.
Something like that. He was talking about some borders
That's
or something.
pretty
Yeah, he
strict.
said Ontario
restrictions.
Yeah, he said something about that.
Quebec has closed their borders from anyone in Ontario.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, that's what they were starting to talk about. Well, that's what they were talking about. They were having problems. People leaving New York.
Oh yeah,
Headed down, people now wanting to, and that was the big thing about shutting. Watching people coming out. People coming out, stopping them and seeing what was going on because headed down because you go down to Ocean City supposedly. From what I was told, from what I have friends down in Ocean City, he said there's all kinds of cars with New York and Pennsylvania plates,
Really?
that come down, and that was one of the things down in Florida because of all the snowbirds coming back down,
Yep.
running back down that way.
Those are the only
And,
people you see getting pulled over here is New York plates.
Yeah. So they were having a pretty big issue, or not an issue, but that's a big problem. You get mobile.
The woman governor of Virginia said, she's pulling anybody over from New York, and so people going ape shit over that. It's like, hey, what are we in, like a lockdown government state here? Like, what the hell is that supposed to mean?
Yeah.
See how much of that continues after this is over.
Yeah.
You know how government is.
Oh yeah, right. Once
Once they got something, they're
Once
not giving it up.
They don't go backwards.
No.
They don't go back.
Nope.
It's funny. We were eating dinner and on the right around, I guess it was a little after 6 o'clock, 6:30 or something, and Trump had that conference going on, that press conference, that update, and one of the reporters was asking questions, and then the general stepped aside, and this other guy stepped in, who was like straight up, here's the way it is, and I don't want to hear any kind of discussion. I'm telling you what's going on. Yeah. And he was explaining how stuff's getting done, and he kept using the catchphrase Trump time. He was like, this guy's getting stuff done Trump time. Right. I was like, that's funny. He's going to go down in history for that one.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's unreal. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, they were asking questions of this poor general he's like the czar of, the safety stuff for the doctors and the nurses and everything, and getting hospitals all the equipment they need. And she was like picking at him, Well, you said this, you said that. And then what about all this stuff, from 3M, it's going to the highest bidder and this and that. And then this other dude stepped in. He just shut her down. This is how it is. This is how it's going, and this, that, and everything else. And this woman was like, well, why doesn't this stuff go directly from the manufacturers to the hospitals? It's because that's not how it's done. Right. Well, why isn't the government taking it over? Because the government is not supposed to distribute stuff from private industry. That's not our job. Right. So it goes from whoever makes it to whoever distributes it to whoever needs it. That's the way it goes. And she was like,
yeah. I was reading a story in the Daily News this morning about this submarine, and the submarine crew is out, and they said that those crews are not told anything that goes on land. Really? For multiple reasons. Like one of them is, if people start freaking out, now they're in a submarine and they can make other people freak out. And now you're all fucking freaking out. So they said if the submarine deployed before this hit, which they're watching one that did, they said they don't know nothing. They said it's like 2 days. When they're 2 days out from coming back in, they'll start giving him information. And they said even the commander of the submarine, they give very, very limited information to. Huh. But they said even if a family member dies, they will not notify him. It's like you'll find out when you get in. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, like, yeah, I guess you don't want to be freaking out inside of a submarine. And
it's business as usual.
Yeah. Talk about like time had forgotten or land had lost. You know what I'm saying? You're out there, you're 20,000 leagues under the sea, you're halfway around the world. You don't even know what the F is going on. You don't even know. You could pop back up, and that was that TV show. There was a TV show about that. It was about the it wasn't a submarine, but it was a battleship, where the virus, was some type of virus wiped out they had to find a cure or whatever, but it was the same thing. They're out to sea and they're on a mission. They don't know what's going on, and all of a sudden they realize the whole, everything's upside. The whole world. Like, are they the only ones left?
Right.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, not knowing. Wow. So, I don't know if that's good or bad.
Well, yeah, I guess they got to maintain the integrity. The mission is first, and you don't know what they're doing. They could be doing some really wild stuff. So,
yeah.
Once they surface, they're walking into a shit show.
Well, yeah. They're like, let's go back under.
You think of it, too, being a submarine, that thing could have nuclear capability. It's got warheads.
All of them do.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of shit going on in there. And
I don't think we have any subs that aren't carrying.
I don't think we don't have any Nautilus class. Yeah, I think they're all good to go. It's like
they're all carrying nukes.
Yeah.
You never know when you got to launch one of them bad boys.
So, again, these guys could be out there.
Again, I'm kind of hoping one of them goes awry.
Yeah, right.
winds up in China. Yeah. Right. I'm like, come on, Trump, send a smart bomb. Who runs China? What is he, a prime minister? What is the asshole over there?
Well, Red China's a dictatorship.
All right, the dictator. Why can't he just drop one of those on his fucking palace?
Yeah, right.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
He's got to call Rocket Man. Kim Jong Un. Yeah, tell him, hey, you want to get a nice Christmas present this year? You need to do a test over China.
Right,
and make
right.
sure it falls.
Yeah. Make
Stop,
sure
stop testing over Japan and start testing over China.
make sure it does what your normal shit does. Let it fail over them. You know, it's
Right.
failing over somewhere else. Right.
I want to see death over there. I'm sorry. I don't care. I'm not politically correct.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
John, we almost had you calm down. Now we have to. I have to worry about you when we go off. If you're going,
Dude, that doesn't even raise my heart rate.
I mean, yeah.
No,
Pleasant
you don't
thoughts.
understand. To me, that's pleasant. To
Yeah.
me, if I was to see footage on TV of China smoking from nuclear waste, that would release endorphins in my brain. I'd be happy. I'd be like, yes.
Ray, all you New Yorkers can't be like that, right? You gotta be.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, we hate a lot of people.
Man,
Really
you
good.
guys have anger issues. I thought
Yeah.
I was.
No, we don't. No.
It's not
No.
anger issues. It's just the straight up fucking easiest truth.
There's those who know how to channel it a certain
Eye
way.
for an eye.
I mean, some people don't, but some people do. You know, right?
I'm
Yeah.
going to start a YouTube
Yeah, you should.
an
should.
unedited adult version YouTube.
They'll probably
Account.
censor you. They'll probably do
Well,
Oh, yeah, they'll
I'll do it
stuff you
until
out.
they censor me, and
Yeah,
then
they'll
I'll
stuff
start
you
in
out.
with them again.
something. Yeah,
You know, and then I'll just open up a web page.
yeah. Well, that you could do. Yeah,
I'll open
Yeah.
up my own web page and I'll just advertise the shit out of it on social media.
right.
And everybody will be like, "This dude is awesome." I'll become a celebrity. Because
It's either you're
many
awesome
people.
or you're off the hook. So
Well, I'm going to get both. I'm going
Yeah.
to get both. The snowflakes are going to think I'm a fucking old fart psycho, and all the gun toters like myself will be like, "This dude should be president."
You'll notice that late night you'll see that black Suburban drive around your
Yeah.
block of the house.
Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah.
Come on by.
Come on.
Come on by. Just hope you can make it past the tripwire
Yeah.
halfway up the lawn
That's crazy.
and the multiple cameras that just happen to have, infrared sensors monitoring what's going on. I got to get woken up like when a freaking dog runs by.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's my Lulu, Lucy. She comes and gets me. That dog, I tell you, man, out of all the dogs I had, that one, she comes up and she's a talker, so she'll be and like beating me on the chest. It's like, what's wrong with you, girl? Leave me alone. She grabs a hold of your hand, drags you out of bed. Oh
Yeah.
shit, something's
There's
going
something
on.
out front.
So the one time she drags me down the stairs and she drags me over by the window and she goes up and we have double windows and she like moves the curtains and up on the looking out, and I was like, damn it, dog, tell me to bring the gun next time. I mean,
Yeah, right.
wake me up and come out. And of course, I keep the tool trucks home, it's
Yeah.
out front, so I was like, God damn it. Looked out, there was a deer. There was a deer out in the front yard,
Wow.
and I looked at Lulu. I said, Lulu, the deer's allowed to be out there. She
Yeah.
looks at me like, man, there's something out there.
Yeah.
Let's go back to bed, girl.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So then my wife is like, I heard something about a gun. What's going on? I was like, never mind. Don't worry about it. Everything's under control.
That's crazy.
So
Yeah, we've had
funny, though.
lines at the gun stores, man. It like long lines.
They
Dude,
finally they just reported it here in the DC area. They were saying the grocery stores are not the only thing with empty shelves, and they flashed over to this gun
Oh,
shop,
yeah.
and man, it was everything's
Oh,
gone.
yeah.
I got a
Full weeks already.
I got a customer that owns a big gun shop
Uh-huh.
on the West Coast. In the last 3.5 weeks, they've sold $1.5 million worth of guns and ammo.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
believe it. Here too. Every
He
store.
had a guy that came in. He's a friend of his and a real awesome customer. And this guy, like, all he needs is the manpower, and he has his own militia.
Mhm.
The dude's got vault after vault after vault. My customer was telling me he bought 85,000 rounds
Wow.
mixed up between 45 cal,
Hmm.
9mm, and whatever goes in an AR-15.
223.
223.
223.
Called him up and said, "Here's what I need. Get it for me. Pay in cash."
Wow.
No problem.
Wow.
Yeah. The guy loaded it all into the back of his truck, went home.
Yeah. Wow.
And he said the funny part is he's got customers coming in, first timers, and he knows they're liberals.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, why do I have to like fill out all this paperwork and get background checked? I've never been arrested.
Yeah.
Well, you voted for this rule.
You're fucking people, right?
Right. So then he calls them up and goes, "Okay, your background check cleared." "Oh, cool. Can I come get my gun?" He goes, "You can come pay for it and then come back in 3 days and pick it up." "Why do I gotta wait 3 days?" He goes, "Because you voted for that rule."
All right.
"Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I could pay you more." He
Yeah.
goes,
Right.
"Oh, so I need alcohol, tobacco, and firearms on my ass because you want a gun today?
Right.
Come by Friday."
Right.
So he's having a lot of fun with them.
Yeah, come
Yeah.
pay and then come back Friday.
Right, exactly. He says, and then they go into the gun range that he's got, and they've never shot this stuff before, so they're kind of like trying to give him lessons. He said, and he's got a guy buys an AR-15 because he had to have an AR-15, and he's like pops off a couple of rounds, and he's holding it, and he turns completely around.
Whoa.
He's like, "Whoa, what are you
Yeah.
doing, idiots?" He says, and then they're shooting up his walls and shooting up his ceiling. He said they got no clue.
Yeah.
He walks into the range. There's a woman standing there, and she's holding some kind of rifle, and she's got it right here.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Annie Oakley. Yeah.
He's like, they're all going to wind up killing themselves.
Good.
They have no clue. They're all first timers.
3 is an easy caliber to shoot. That's not a bad caliber at all.
Yeah. So
You know.
he's having a good time.
Oh yeah. Well, these guys made their, for being in March. I mean, they made like sold a year's worth of guns.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I was
absolutely.
watching a guy I watch on YouTube. I can't remember his name, but giving lessons and the first timers, and it's so funny because he'll have them out there at the gun range, and he's so quick. He actually hands them the gun, but he takes the clip out, and they don't even realize it. So they're like holding there, and they go to squeeze, and of course they flinch.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Dude, you just shot a bird out of the fucking sky." You know what I'm saying?
He just hit
So
that airplane.
So then he gets them all lined up again, and they're going dry firing, click, click, click. But by that time he slips it in there, and it goes off, and he's like, "See, now you hit the target," because by that time they weren't waiting for the noise,
Right.
So it was so funny though. They had this one guy on there, and he squeezes and pulls it like this. He goes, "Dude, you just shot a bird out of the sky. The guy that came into your house is now all over you. You know what I'm saying?"
Unbelievable.
A DA, that first trigger pull is a long pull. You usually throw it high. Then the second one is single action, and it usually goes where it's supposed to go. But you got to know what you're doing.
But it's so funny. I could not stop laughing when he's
Unreal.
busting on these people, in this gun course or school.
Funniest video I ever saw. I don't know if I saved it. It was a closed range, and it was a couple of guys. They were shooting like a 50 cal rifle, and they gave it to their buddy, like Abdullah. He's wearing a full, he's got the head thing on. He's got a full dress on.
Just his camels parked out front.
Yeah, exactly. And they hand it to him, and he fires the gun and literally throws him back off his feet, falls on his ass, up in the air. He's like, "Oh!"
I think I've seen that one where the guy was all. That was funny.
A few
That's
years ago.
dangerous, though.
And then you see the ones where guys at YouTube, they would these guys would take their girlfriend out into the field and hand them a 45, and the poor girl would pull the trigger and come back and bang, hit herself in the nose or the head with the gun.
Yeah.
And they're bleeding and all. Like, oh shit.
Is this thing going to dump? It's at 159.
I guess it will.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess it will.
See what happens. 30 seconds.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll load that Zoom thing in tomorrow.
Let me know.
and
Yeah,
then,
all right, guys.
I'll let
Take
you know
care.
what's going
Bye,
on.
Brian. Have a good day.
Hey, did you get all your questions asked, Ray?
Pretty
or-
much. I gotta work it out some more. I gotta get some specifics, but I'm better off than
I mean, just give me a call. I'm
Yeah.
not. I mean, I'm on the route, but I mean, it's
Right. All right.
Give me a call.
All right. Good.
Sounds good.
I'm gonna be looking for Evan too. We'll see, but yeah, we'll figure this out. What was
Yeah,
that?
Evan will know all of that stuff.